as a former people pleaser, let me tell you and explain to you why people pleasing is never going to get you anywhere, okay? So, as you guys know, I'm a Christian, okay? And I fell into sin and got pregnant with my baby, right? Christians would have crucified me down to the cross as bad as they crucified Jesus, Tyrone the First, if I would have gotten an abortion. So I did not get an abortion. In fact, I did what the church tells us to do, and that is to keep your child. I kept my child, and I still somehow got crucified as bad as Jesus, Tyrone the First. I got married. Okay, the church tells you to get married. People tell you to get married. That's the proper way to do things, right? I got married. The husband sucked, and so I got a divorce. When I say he sucked, I mean like cheating. I mean like he didn't live with me in the same house. He had multiple girlfriends. I mean, this man told me that condoms were for his girlfriends, but not for me because I was his wife. Like, that's what I mean by he sucked. And I did pray, and I did try to keep that marriage. It simply didn't. It simply didn't work. It simply didn't want to be kept. Okay, and I got crucified to the flesh. Not only for getting married because I'm so young and I should enjoy my life, but also for getting a divorce because once you get married, why would you divorce unless there's anything? Got crucified. Recently, everybody in my community at church has been telling me to go deeper into community. Everybody in my church has been telling me to go deeper into community. You know, get to know people, talk to people. It's good to get to know people. So I did. And you know, once I did so, the very community that I went to, the very people that told me that I needed that community, the very people that told me to go into community, it's the same community that rejected me. So when I say that being a people pleaser will get you nowhere, I honestly mean it will get you nowhere. The same people who tell me that I should have better boundaries get upset when I set those boundaries because boundaries also apply to them. So being a people pleaser, okay, doesn't get you anywhere because you're always going to upset somebody. Somebody's always going to have a problem with something, and you can't please everybody. And if you spend your whole life trying to please everybody, you're going to find yourself like me, right? I'm right now, I done became everything that everybody wanted me to be, so I don't even know who I am anymore, okay? You got the people on Christian TikTok who would tell me that you should dress up and you should be more modest and you should prophesy and you should pray. And then I found myself prophesying and praying and covering up and being modest. And somehow I still was called a false prophet. And somehow I still was called Jezebel. And somehow, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I was called Jezebel with hair wraps on and turtlenecks up to my neck. Okay? I was called Jezebel as a 21-year-old virgin. Okay, so it's damned if you do and it's damned if you don't. You cannot please everybody. The only person you should be focused on pleasing is God. That's the only way you're going to be successful. That's the only way. That's the only way. If you focus your whole life trying to please everybody else, even if it's your family. Okay, because I spent my whole teenage life trying to please my mama, and that didn't work either. My mama told me that she would appreciate me more if I went to college and I went to school. So I went to college and I went to school, and I still somehow found myself getting kicked out of my mama's house. Because I still wasn't a good enough daughter for her. You understand what I'm saying? You will never be good enough, and you'll never be enough for humans on this planet. Because humans have holes and they have voids that they use vices like sex, money, and drugs to fill. Music, whatever your vice is, we all have vices. You will never fill that hole, and you cannot fill that hole for everybody because everybody got different holes. No diddy. Everybody has different voids that they need filled, and you'll never be able to fill them. So, I hope you learned something. And that pisses me off. The pregnancy thing really, really, really pisses me off. Because it's like, I understand I had to sin to get here and I had to sin to get pregnant. But I would have had to double sin to get rid of it. You understand what I'm saying? So it didn't matter. God already forgave me for it. I had people, until I was 9 months pregnant, crucifying me and putting me on the same cross they put Jesus on. God, it don't take 9 months for God to forgive somebody. When you gonna get over it? You understand what I'm saying? So you're never going to please everybody. So don't live your life trying to please everybody. Please God. And you know what God is talking to you about. You know what God is convicting you about. You know what God wants you to do. And you know the direction that He is sending you in. Focus on your relationship with God. It's relationship.